Greetings class, welcome to Duel Academy. Professor Rivas here, and this will be the second lesson of your first class in your Obelisk Blue term, Duel Puzzles, Puzzles 3 and 4. If you haven't already, please make sure you subscribe to the channel and turn on the notification bell to be up to date with the latest Duel Academy lessons and assessments. So without further ado, get your deck, get your game on, and let's get started. Here is your third duel puzzle. In this puzzle, you have 2200 life points, while your opponent has 3000. You have Mind Golem on your side of the field, along with the set card, while your opponent has Valkyrion, the Magnet Warrior, on their side of the field in face-up attack position. You have Giant Rat and Monster Reborn in your hand. Your opponent has 3 Magnet Warriors in their graveyard. Finally, you have 1 Mind Golem in your graveyard and another one in the deck. Now that we have an overview of what's going on, let's come up with a strategy to win this turn. To do that, we need to analyze each card carefully, so let's do that now. Let's start by analyzing our side of the field. First, we have a Mind Golem, which is a level 3 Earth Rock monster with 1000 attack and 1900 defense, whose effect states, when this card is destroyed by battle and sent to the graveyard, inflict 500 damage to your opponent. This effect won't help us too much, since it has to be destroyed by battle for it to trigger. And even if it does, it only deals 500 damage. The set card we have on our side of the field is the normal trap Minefield Eruption, whose effect states, inflict 1000 damage to your opponent for each face-up Mind Golem on your side of the field. After that, destroy all face-up Mind Golem, or Golems, on your side of the field. This card seems promising, especially if we can get all 3 Mind Golem onto the field. Our opponent has a Valkyrion, the Magnet Warrior, on their side of the field, a level 8 Earth Rock monster with 3500 attack and 3850 defense, whose effect states, cannot be normal summoned or set. Must first be special summoned from your hand by attributing 1 Alpha the Magnet Warrior, Beta the Magnet Warrior, and Gamma the Magnet Warrior from your hand and or field. You can tribute this card and target 1 Alpha the Magnet Warrior, Beta the Magnet Warrior, and Gamma the Magnet Warrior in your graveyard. Special summon them. The effect isn't really relevant since it's our turn anyway, but it is a beat stick with 3500 attack. Next, let's analyze our hand. First, we have a Giant Rat, a level 4 Earth Beast with 1400 attack and 1450 defense, whose effect states, when this card is destroyed by battle and sent to the graveyard, you can special summon 1 Earth monster with 1500 or less attack from your deck in attack position. This may be our way to get our final Mind Golem from the deck. We also have a Monster Reborn, a normal spell whose effect states, target 1 monster in either graveyard, special summon it. This may be the way we get our Mind Golem from our graveyard. Next, let's analyze the graveyard. In our graveyard, we have 1 Mind Golem, which we already analyzed. Our opponent has the 3 Magnet Warriors, which are irrelevant in our scenario, so we can move forward. In our deck, we have a Mind Golem, which once again, we already analyzed. Now that we have an understanding of all the cards in the puzzle, we can come up with a strategy to win the duel. Take a moment to pause the video here and see if you can win the duel by yourself this turn. Let's get started. We know that the Mind Golem effect is out, since it needs to be destroyed by battle and it only deals 500 damage. Even if we get all 3 on the field and crash them into Valkyrion, our life points would be depleted after the first attack. Using Monster Reborn to try to get a monster to swing over Valkyrion is also a no-go, since there's nothing strong enough to take it down. Our best bet is Minefield Eruption. This will require all 3 Mind Golem on the field to inflict 3000 points of damage, which is just enough for lethal. So first, how do we get the second Mind Golem from the graveyard to the field? If you said Monster Reborn, you're correct. Let's go ahead and activate Monster Reborn to special summon Mind Golem to our field. Next, we need to get the third Mind Golem from the deck, so how do we do that? If you said use Giant Rat, you would be correct. Crashing our giant rat into Valkyrian would only leave us with 100 life points, but it'll finish our setup to win this turn. Let's do it. Normal summon giant rat in attack position. Next, attack Valkyrian with giant rat. We'll lose 2100 life points, leaving us with 100 life points, but since giant rat was destroyed, its effect will trigger, allowing us to get the final Mind Golem from the deck. With all 3 Mind Golem on the field, we can activate Minefield Eruption, allowing us to inflict 1000 damage for each Mind Golem before destroying them. That's 3000 damage, reducing your opponent's life points to 0, winning us the duel. Here's your 4th duel puzzle. In this puzzle, you have 100 life points while your opponent has 2000. You have absolutely nothing on your side of the field, while your opponent has 3 Blue Eyes White Dragons on their side of the field in face-up attack position. You have King of the Skull Servants, Dark Factory of Mass Production, Tribute to the Doomed, and Back to Square One in your hand. Your opponent has nothing in their graveyard. Finally, you have 3 Skull Servants in your graveyard. Again, now that we have an overview of what's going on, let's come up with a strategy to win this turn. To do that, we need to analyze each card carefully, so let's do that now. Let's begin by analyzing the field. Since my side of the field is empty, let's look at our opponent's field. They have 3 Blue Eyes White Dragons. We must be dueling Seto Kaiba. Blue Eyes White Dragon is a level 8 light dragon monster with 3000 attack and 2500 defense. Definitely a force to be reckoned with. Now, let's look at our hand. First, we have King of the Skull Servant, a level 1 dark zombie monster with an attack that varies and a defense of 0. Its effect reads, the original attack of this card is the combined number of King of Skull Servants and Skull Servant in your graveyard times 1000. When this card is destroyed by battle and sent to the graveyard, you can banish one other King of the Skull Servants or one Skull Servant from your graveyard. Special summon this card. If we were to summon this monster now, it'll have 3000 attack since we have 3 Skull Servants in our graveyard, enough to crash into 1 Blue Eyes, but we'll still have to deal with the other 2. So let's hold off on that. Next we have the spell card, Dark Factory of Mass Production, which reads, target 2 normal monsters in your graveyard, add them to your hand. We can use this to target 2 Skull Servants from our graveyard and add them to our hand. This will reduce our King of the Skull Servant's possible attack, but it will add additional resources to our hand. The next spell we have is Tribute to the Doomed, which reads, discard 1 card, then target 1 monster on the field. Destroy it. Lastly, we have the spell card Back to Square One, which reads, discard 1 card, then target 1 monster on the field. Place that target on top of the deck. Finally, let's analyze our graveyard. Seems like our opponent has nothing in their graveyard, and we already discussed that we have 3 Skull Servants in our graveyard, a level 1 dark zombie normal monster with 300 attack and 200 defense. Again, now that we have an understanding of all the cards in the puzzle, we can come up with a strategy to win the duel. Take a moment to pause the video here and see if you can win the duel by yourself this turn. Okay, let's do this. We already ruled out summoning the King of the Skull Servants right away, since it'll only deal with 1 Blue Eyes White Dragon. We need our other spells to deal with the other 2 Blue Eyes. Tribute to the Doomed and Back to Square One will get the other Blue Eyes off the field, but we'll need additional resources in our hand to use them. So which card will get us those resources? That's right, Dark Factory of Mass Production. First, activate Dark Factory of Mass Production to add 2 Skull Servants from your graveyard to your hand. Next, we can activate Back to Square One by discarding 1 Skull Servant from our hand to the graveyard. This will spin a Blue Eyes from the field to the top of your opponent's deck, eliminating a threat. Next, we can activate Tribute to the Doomed by discarding your other Skull Servant from your hand to the graveyard. to target and destroy another Blue Eyes. Now that all 3 Skull Servants are back in your graveyard, we can summon our King of the Skull Servants, enter battle phase, and crash into the last Blue Eyes. Since King of the Skull Servants was destroyed by battle, we can use its effect to banish a Skull Servant and special summon it back onto the field. This time, it'll only have 2000 attack since there's only 2 Skull Servants in the graveyard, but that's just enough to attack directly and win the duel. Thank you so much for attending this class. There will be a quiz in this lesson, so don't forget to take it. I hope you have a great day, and class dismissed.